Good day, here we are again with the tropical update here in the Western Pacific. Now watching two storms, Tropical Storm Talas and also Tropical Storm Noru. It is the 4th of September 2011, 4 p.m. Philippine time, 5 p.m. Japan time, or 08 Zulu for those you watching worldwide. We're going to start with Tropical Storm Talas, which has made landfall here in Shikoku about 2 days ago and has now since exited into the Sea of Japan here. Located 200 kilometers northwest of Kyoto. Maximum sustained winds is 65 kph, gusting to 85, moving north-northeastward at 10 kilometers per hour. Just want to note the differences with the JDWC and JMA analysis. With the latter still for classifying Talas as a tropical storm. JDWC actually downgraded this to a tropical depression now. It's actually put out their final warning for Talas, so I just note that. But in terms of the visible here in the visual satellite image, can't really make out anything anymore with the storm here. Still has some low-level clouds again north of Honshu already over the Sea of Japan. High-level clouds being sheared off now as it starts to encounter some strong upper-level winds there, about 30 to actually 60 knots in some cases here in the north. In terms of infrared image, also showing you the convection has waned significantly as it tracked across Shikoku and Honshu. Still have some convective activity mainly in the eastern side, but in terms of the here in the storm center, can't really find anything anymore. Still maintains that core in the microwave images, but and also here you have the rain still falling here in Honshu, particularly here in the Kii Peninsula, the Kansai or Kinki region. Still some heavy rains as well in the areas just offshore of Honshu, and these areas will perhaps continue to experience scattered rain showers throughout today there. Here we are also showing you a radar image across the Chubu region with some scattered showers there, and perhaps around 10 to 20 millimeters per hour. We have some pockets of heavy rain here, and 30 to 40 millimeters of rain. Some also thunderstorms here in the region there. But in terms of very heavy rain that we've seen over the past 2 days, fortunately is begun to die down. As I said, we still have some scattered showers. Still expect around 100 to 200 millimeters of rain for the next 24 hours for some of these parts. And speaking of rainfall, I have this rainfall map based on JMA and also weather stations across Japan. You have this widespread rainfall of less than 100 millimeters there, and also some pockets of very heavy rain, particularly here in the Kii Peninsula. Prefectures of Nara, Wakayama, and Mie actually received the brunt in terms of heavy rain. We've seen areas reporting as much as 1,200 to 1,600 millimeters of rain for the past 2 days. And also here in Shikoku, some widespread reports of more than 200 to 300 millimeters of rain. Also some pockets of rainfall here shown in the purple shades of more than 600 millimeters there as well. And also here in western Honshu, experiencing some heavier rainfall there. But in terms of the heaviest, not the Kii Peninsula got the worst of it, and some record-breaking rainfall amounts, and also obviously causing landslides and rivers to swell. And in terms of reports of casualties, I have seen articles and news reports actually vary in terms of the exact figure, running from 6 deaths up to as high as 18. So we'll still have to verify that. In terms of electricity affecting millions definitely of customers, and also cancelling flights and also rail travel across Honshu and Shikoku here. So Talas did indeed prove to be deadly. In terms of wind, didn't really see some very strong typhoon force winds, mainly in the coast. it's the rain that actually been the headlines with this storm. As I said, bringing very heavy amounts of rainfall there, but the good news is it is now moving away, now over the Sea of Japan. See the JWC forecast. Talas moving north away from Japan and staying offshore, and still perhaps going to be bringing some scattered rain showers here in Chubu and also here in Tohoku region, and also some waves. Have to watch that as well. In terms of strength, JWC again downgraded this to a tropical depression and giving this their final warning. As for JMA, so showing that northward and perhaps could approach the Russian Far East early next week there, staying offshore and turning away from Japan, so that's a good news there as well. And that is it for Talas now. Gonna focus now on Tropical Storm Noru, the other system that we're watching, well away from Japan. You can see located 1,250 kilometers southeast of Tokyo. Maximum sustained winds have actually increased to 75 kph, gusting to 100. And also look at that movement, 35 kph, very fast moving storm accelerating to the north, but again staying offshore and well east of Japan. In terms of organization, you can see here in the microwave image, you have that low level center being depicted fairly clearly here in the microwave. Hasn't really translated yet to the mid to upper levels due to the strong wind shear here around 20 knots. And also we have the infrared image, not really showing a whole lot of convection with the storm, not really seeing anything forming near and around the center, but still see some bursts here and there. Environment in terms of sea surface temperatures remain somewhat favorable, but as I said, it is encountering some wind shear right now, so you expect that to intensify, but at a slower, fairly slow rate. In terms of forecast, computer models are in very good agreement that Noru will stay away from Honshu and Hokkaido, showing that general northward turn towards perhaps the in the Kuril Islands here in Russia. GTWZ also showing that northward track, tracking east along the western periphery of that subtropical ridge. Also seeing JTWC expecting a peak intensity of around 100 kph by next week, so I still expect this to intensify. And JMA also expecting that same scenario as well, and showing that northward track towards perhaps the Kuril Islands by the middle of next week there. Could perhaps begin a extratropical transition as early as Tuesday. You'll have to watch that. But in terms of effects towards Japan, Japanese mainland, not expecting any significant effects there. So good news again for Japan there. That is again just a quick update there on Noru. Before I end the update, I want to bring your attention here to the Atlantic Basin just for a second. Here in the United States, we are also watching two storms. Tropical Storm Lee now making landfall here in Louisiana. You can see this convective activity just south of the United States, offshore, but very slow moving storm has actually dropped large amounts of rain as well along Louisiana, Mississippi and Alabama, around 10 inches in some parts, and we are still expecting 5 to 10 inches actually. You can see in this forecast from the Hydrometeorological Prediction Center of NOAA, expecting as much as 5 inches of rainfall here in Mississippi Louisiana border. And sorry, as it moves north, it will continue to drop large amounts of rain. Again, it is a slow moving storm. You can see in this forecast from the National Hurricane Center, very slow movement northward at 2 miles per hour. So by Wednesday it will only have reached the Tennessee Kentucky area as a tropical depression, and as it interacts with that front, still going to be bringing lots of heavy rain across the southeastern part of the United States. But right now, again, it is making landfall now across the Louisiana state here, showing you tropical storm warnings also from National Hurricane Center. and also actually some winds being reported as high as 60 knots along these areas. High waves also, but again the main news here is the large amounts of very heavy rain across the Gulf. So have to watch your news channels and also National Hurricane Center and the National Weather Service for the latest there. And also the other system we're watching is Tropical Storm Katia. You can see approaching the east of Puerto Rico and the Lesser Antilles, so not really expecting any direct effects here in the Caribbean also. But the main thing with Katia is the uncertainty among computer models. You can see in this, we'll get to that later as you can see, but here in the infrared, again, still a tropical storm, downgraded for the second time actually, although the infrared has been improving now hour by hour, and you can see in this microwave image you actually have an eye beginning to develop here in the microwave. So I do expect this to continue intensifying, perhaps be upgraded to a hurricane today again. But as I said, the main thing is the uncertainty among computer models, and you can see here lots of differences in day 3 time frame, with some models adamant on a recurve away from the United States, but some models being consistent and insistent really with a landfall or perhaps a brush here in the United States. But in terms of consistency, in terms of average consensus, you can see that the chances of recurvature is actually much greater than landfall. So fairly confident of this recurving, and also that's what the National Hurricane Center is showing here on their 5-day track, and also showing expecting Katia to intensify further, although perhaps not as strong as a major hurricane, but still a very potent hurricane, passing well west of Bermuda by Thursday. But again, probably see that track shift more to the west as more computer models actually trend to the west. The Euro model is not shown here, but the Euro or the ECMWF has been the best performing models in tropical cyclones for the past years, and that model has actually been trending to the west, and the latest run, 00 run, actually showing a brush here in the outer banks and before recurving. So a very interesting run from that certain model as well, so I have to keep an eye on that as well. In terms of information, just log on to 28storms.com. Again, it's 28storms.com. I'm also doing some video updates there for the Atlantic, mainly here in the Atlantic Basin in the United States for the hurricanes. And as for Katia, going to be a nail biter here for us along the east coast, so we'll have to watch that. Still has a lot of days ahead, and some more than 5 days. Perhaps we'll never know the exact track until perhaps the middle of next week, as long as the computer models continue to resolve the differences, and actually Tropical Storm Lee will have some sort of influence with Katia's future tracks, so we'll have to watch those two systems as well. So that is the update for today. Thank you for watching, and also for the comments, just don't forget to leave them here. And again, that's it for today. Stay safe out there. Bye bye.